Hi Toffee Beans! How's it brewing? I've been seeing a lot of really pretty jewelry made with dried flowers and resin, which I have never tried before, and I thought, why not try it today? I received these preserved flowers and leaves in the July Sophie and Toffee Elves Box. And I've had these molds for a really long time, along with a bunch of other smaller molds. So I thought, why not try and make some quick and pretty dried flower jewelry with UV resin? This is also going to be a bit of an experiment for me as well, since I've never done this before. For this project, I'll be using Limino UV resin, preserved flowers and leaves from Sophie and Toffee, but you could use any dried flowers, and various types of silicone molds. I'll put the links to everything I use in the description below, as well as a 10% off coupon for Sophie and Toffee, so make sure you check it out. I thought the easiest way to get started was to get organized. So I picked out the different dried flowers that I liked and trimmed off each of the little blossoms and sort of cleaned up the little twigs and scraps. I really love these yellow and purple flowers. They are so bright and colorful, and the two colors look great together. I had these set aside on a paper towel so I could grab them easily. I applied a thin layer of UV resin to this small tag-shaped mold and spread it around evenly. Then I carefully pressed in a couple of the yellow flowers, starting with the bigger blossoms at the bottom and smaller toward the top. I kind of wanted this to look like the flowers were getting blown into the sky by the wind. I also may have been channeling Gale from Frozen 2, since that's literally all my daughter has been wanting to watch. Please send help. As I laid these down, I gently pressed each flower down to try and ease any bubbles out from underneath. I decided to add in some of these beautiful gold flakes as well. This is part of a bigger collection of holographic flakes from Sophie and Toffee. I pushed some of these flakes towards the bottom with a toothpick to add some dimension between the flower petals. I'm really happy with how this looks, so I cured it under my UV light. To add some more dimension, I applied a few more flakes of gold with another layer of UV resin and cured that as well. Then, before taking it out of the mold, I domed the entire thing in UV resin and cured it. I popped it out of the mold, but the bottom was actually still a little thin from the first UV resin layer. So I flipped it over and pressed it back into the mold. Then I domed it in UV resin and cured it for the final time. Because I cured this in so many layers, and probably for longer than I should have, the resin actually warped a bit. So you can see it's a bit bowed, but I actually really like that. My husband pointed out that I could drill a hole in the opposite side and turn it into a really pretty leather bracelet. For my next project, I wanted to use this amazing fluffy feather. I'm calling it a feather because it's fluffy, but I don't think it's actually avian. So I'm not sure what this plant is actually from, but it was inside the kit from Sophie and Toffee. I'm super curious to see if I can keep it fluffy in the resin or if it'll just collapse. I have this really awesome crystal-shaped mold, and it's the perfect size for this little feather. To get started, I added a drop of UV resin to the tip of the crystal mold, and then pressed in some more of the gold flakes. Then I gave it a quick flash cure. I just want this layer to be hard before I add the feather so that the feather doesn't sink through to the bottom. Next, I added some more resin to the inside and gently placed my feather in with a toothpick, and also dripped some resin in down the side of the crystal mold. Then cured it under the UV light. Finally, I added some more UV resin to the very top of the crystal mold, or the base of the crystal, I guess, and added a bunch more gold flakes. Once that was cured, I was able to pop it out. I've learned the best way to get resin out of these little molds is to sort of roll it around on a hard surface. It brings in some air between the silicone and resin and makes it easier to pop out. This one was especially tricky because it was long and pointy. I absolutely love how this turned out! This feather looks amazing. It kind of looks like a frozen flame, or a fire trapped in time. I think I want to add a little captive end to turn this into a necklace, but I'm not really sure which end I should add it to. What do you think? Let me know your suggestions for this piece in the comments below. You guys always have fantastic ideas. My next project is going to use this little marble silicone mold. I love this mold because the marbles always turn out so shiny and it sort of magnifies the object inside it. I added some UV resin to the bottom of the mold and then added some of these holographic flakes inside. These are kind of a yellowy green holo. I added those in and swirled them around in the resin a little before curing it quickly under my UV light. I found this little random pine cone looking thing buried at the bottom of the flower kit from Sophie and Toffee. I'm not sure if it's a pine cone or a seed or what. I don't have any sort of knowledge about plants, obviously. So I added more UV resin into the mold and then carefully put the pine cone inside and flash cured it quickly. I wanted to make sure it was standing upright and not laying on its side. This was actually pretty tricky to do because it kept wanting to fall over. Then I added some more UV resin and swirled in some more of the yellowish-green Holo Flakes. And now, after curing it one final time, I can finally take it out of the mold. I rolled the mold around my desk to create bubbles between the silicone and resin and then popped it out. To me, this looks a little like a Christmas tree, but the little flakes almost make the resin look like amber, or it kind of reminds me of amber, so it's almost like this is a fossilized seed. What should I turn this into? I was thinking a ring maybe, but that might be way too big. Let me know what you think I should turn it into. And finally, I'm on my last project. This one is by far my favorite. I have this round mold that I've been wanting to use forever to make a beautiful leather necklace. So I added in some UV resin and spread it around. Then I laid down a bunch of the purple blossoms with the biggest at the bottom and the smaller petals going up the edge. Then I gave it a quick flash cure. I didn't want this piece to warp like the first one, so I only cured it for a short time. Then I poured in some more UV resin and placed in these absolutely gorgeous holographic flakes. Purples and blues come through in this holo, so I knew it'd be perfect for the purple flowers. I laid these down in layers with the bigger flakes at the bottom and the smaller ones on the edges, then cured it. I domed the entire thing before removing it from the mold and cured that. Then it was finally time to take it out. I love how this looks, but it definitely needs some more Holo Flakes on the other side. I added a thin layer of UV resin and then placed a few Holo Flakes on top and cured it. It's absolutely gorgeous! I love the layers of the flowers and the flakes on this piece, and the shape is absolutely stunning. Now all I did was added it to a leather cord necklace from Michaels to make a beautiful choker necklace. I've worn this thing everywhere and I get so many compliments on it. I'm so happy with how it looks. It totally encapsulates spring. I hope you guys enjoyed my little foray into dried flowers and resin. Granted, I had a lot of fun making everything, but I wasn't really sure what to do with the pieces after I made them. So I definitely need your inspiration to finish these up. Let me know in the comments below what you think I can make with these pieces. Or you can always tag me on Instagram at BunnieDIY with your ideas. Make sure you subscribe before you go and click the little notification bell so you always know when I post. I upload every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And make sure you leave this video a thumbs up. Those likes really help my channel out with YouTube's algorithm. Thanks everyone! Love you a latte!